Going out once again, $2,000 stimulus check focused on low income, including Social Security, retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, SSI, VA, and RRB. All right, so if you happen to see my video from about a week and a half ago, I introduced this document right here, which happens to be the latest letter that I have drafted and that I sent over to Congress in the form of an email to a variety of very influential people throughout Congress. Well, as a result of new information that has come out since this last document, since this letter was sent out last about a week and a half ago, it is time to revise this and sending it out once again. Now, here's the thing. I sent this out, like I said, about a week and a half ago or so. However, since we've gotten this letter to go out, we've actually received a lot of very new information that once again builds even a stronger case for us to continue to call on Congress for additional stimulus checks, especially focused on low income. Let me quickly talk you through what this letter says in case you didn't see that video. And even if you did see that video, I'll just really quickly talk through what's in this, and then I'll talk through some of the more, the latest information that has been released that builds even a stronger case that I'm going to revise this letter and actually add into it, because we're building a pretty strong case here, especially with the latest information that just came out as of recently. All right, so in this letter, I'm calling on them to issue a $2,000 stimulus check focused on low-income individuals, especially those people under $40,000 of income. Now, we need to make it very clear. The income can be from anything, because I wouldn't be shocked if they tried to pull a fast one on us and say, oh yeah, it has to be earned income. No, sorry, that's not going to fly with us. $40,000 of income from any sources, including the entire list of beneficiaries that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, including Social Security and the whole list. SSDI, SSI, you know the list, right? Well, those would be beneficiaries that would also be included according to what I'm writing here in my letter, because, you know, sometimes they try to pull fast ones on us, and we're not going to let that fly. So what we're basically saying is the lowest income people under $40,000 of income need that stimulus check, the $2,000 stimulus check, until they actually come up with a long-term solution, which would be what? Yes, either monthly stimulus checks or UBI, GBI, Universal Basic Income, Guaranteed Basic Income, monthly checks, some kind of monthly stipend, or even better, just permanently raising benefits for everybody, because that would be a long-term solution. So any of these would be fine with us. All we're asking for is something right now as a short-term fix to help everybody out until they can get a long-term solution put in place. So that's basically what we're calling on. And again, I actually started this letter out by saying, now is the time to act. We're sick of waiting, and now is the time. It is time to act, and it is going to be too little too late, just like so many other times. But you know what? Something is better than nothing. And as they always say, late is better than never, right? Anyway, we're calling on Congress. Now, one more thing, this is very important about this. Timing is very, very important right now. We know this is the week that Chuck Schumer has indicated he would be bringing to the floor the stimulus package and opening it up for debate. Well, I've mentioned it many, many times before in previous videos. I'll say it one more time really fast here. Usually when they bring these packages to the floor and open them up for debate, that is when some of the best provisions are added in, like the last stimulus package back in March of 2021 and the one in the end of 2020. A lot of good stuff in literally like the 11th hour of the negotiations. That's when some good stimulus package or stimulus provisions have been brought in. Also, so let's talk about the new information that has come up over the last couple days here that helps to strengthen our case for additional stimulus checks, especially focused on low income. Well, I'll tell you the latest information that has come out, and then I'll tell you what I'm going to do to revise this note before I actually send it off once again. And by the way, I'll probably bring you the final copy of this once I have it out here within the next day or two, or maybe even later today, whenever I can actually just sit down and put my thoughts together on this thing. But I pretty much already have the thoughts. It's just a matter of writing them out now. All right, so a couple of the pieces of information that we've now received over the last few days here. The disastrous inflation number that came out on Friday. That was a big one, 6.8% year over year and 0.8% month over month. This is the highest inflation number that we've seen in nearly 40 years, since 1982. It's been a very long time since we haven't seen inflation this strong. So once again, we've seen it in so many reports, literally dozens and dozens of reports that we've seen out there calling on that this massive inflation that we're seeing right now is actually hurting the low income and fixed income the most, because your income is staying the same. Meanwhile, prices continue to move up. Therefore, it's decreasing the spread between your income and expenses, right? So yeah, I think all of us know kind of how that's working right now, right? So that's one piece of the puzzle. Yesterday, I brought you a video talking about $500 billion that is still sitting on the books from previous stimulus packages that has not been allocated yet. It's already been appropriated, as in it's been approved. It's already been signed off by Congress and the president to actually go out and actually spend it on something. However, $500 billion, half of $1 trillion, is still sitting there on the books doing absolutely nothing. Well, here's the thing. I've run the numbers on this. It would only cost about $100 billion to send out 50 million people a $2,000 stimulus check. Well, if we look at the numbers here, $100 billion is 1/5 of the potential amount of money that is currently sitting there right now. $500 billion, and we're asking for $100 billion. This should be no big deal, right? They should be able to peel off $100 billion, no big deal, send it out in the form of stimulus checks for the lowest income and fixed income people. It would not be that difficult to do. They have the infrastructure in place. They have all of the means that they have available to get this money out the door to the people, right into bank accounts, right onto direct express cards. They've done it 3 times previously. They should have it mastered by now. It would not be that hard for them to do, right? Basically, peel the money off, send it off to the Treasury or the IRS, whoever distributes these payments, and basically just say, take this, and anybody who reported less than $40,000 of income last year, hit their bank account with $2,000. That's all it would have to do. It would not be that hard for them to figure out. But it's a matter of actually just getting the approval and actually getting this actually done. These are a couple of the points that I want to put in this letter again as I rewrite this and I revise this with this new information. The inflation, that's a big one right there. Nobody can deny it, what is actually going on. As far as the other money, the $500 billion we just talked about, I'm going to add that into this as well, saying, hey, look at this. We've got this runaway inflation that's hitting everybody really hard right now. We've got this money that's already sitting there. It's already been approved by Congress. Why don't you peel off $100 billion and send it off to the people earning under $40,000 a year, including the fixed income people, like I've mentioned before, Social Security, the whole list, right? So I'm going to be writing this up again. I'm going to draft this once again. I'm going to rewrite this. I'm probably just going to start over and rewrite the whole thing rather than changing it. It's a lot of times it's just a lot easier just to start over fresh and just rewrite it. But I'll be adding in those new points right in there into the letter. And then, of course, I'll be sending this out once again by email. The last one went out by email. And actually, some of the people that I sent it out to on their websites or in order to get in contact with them, you have to fill out like a form, right? You know, like these email, or it's not an email, but it's like you go to their website and they say, contact us, and they give you a form to fill out, like you're writing your name and your email address and the purpose why you're contacting sometimes, and then they give you a little message box. I basically just copied and pasted it right into the little message box and said, there you go, push the send button, right? That's what I'll be doing once again, simply because time is of the essence right now. We're right down to it. There is literally no time to write up physical letters, print them out, package them up, send them off. There's literally just not time right now for that to be done, because by the time that they get them, it may be too late. However, electronically, as in emails and these little contact boxes on their websites, things like this would be the fastest and easiest way, because they should get it immediately in a matter of when they open it up and read it, whether it's here this week, maybe next week. Either way, doesn't really matter. But the point is, that is how we're going to be doing it, is because we need to get these messages out to them right away. So if you would like to participate in any way, shape, or form, reaching out to these people in Congress, feel free to send some emails yourself. You can find these people in Congress. You can find their contact information online pretty easily. You can just go to just internet browser, or a search engine, I should say, and just simply type in their name and type in website or email address, whatever you want, contact information, and you can find it very easily. You can find their office addresses, you can find their telephone numbers, you can find their, basically everything about the person. We don't really care about all that, but basically you can find all their contact information. If you want, feel free to make some phone calls. leave them some voice messages. Maybe talk to the staff on duty, whoever answers the phone. Talk to them. See if you can be transferred to their voicemail. Leave some messages. Do whatever we can. The more that we reach out to these people and continue pushing on them for additional stimulus checks or relief during this time, the greater likelihood there is that they may actually approve something. No guarantees, of course. We don't really know. But what I do know is that if we don't do anything, I can almost guarantee nothing will happen, right? So that's kind of how it works. If we just act like, oh, we're fine, no big deal, we don't need anything, then they'll probably just act like, fine, okay, we're fine too, no big deal. But if we act and we actually reach out to them and remind them that it is a really dire situation right now, then maybe they'll actually recognize that, oh, maybe it is maybe it is a situation right now where we do need to offer additional relief. So all that I know is, when we come out in numbers, right? When people act in big numbers, when there's a lot of response about something, that's when usually something happens. I've said it before, the squeaky wheel is the one who gets the oil, and we have to continue squeaking because that's how we're going to get that oil. In other words, black gold, as they call it in the South, I think. I'm not really sure. Don't be offended if you're in the South. I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure when you hit oil, like in the South somewhere, they call it black gold. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I've heard that somewhere. The old saying was always, if you own land or something and you hit oil, like you strike gold, right? So I don't know. Especially with everything, with gas prices going up as much as they are right now, probably wouldn't be such a bad thing to find a little bit of oil, right? I mean, it'd probably be a pretty cool thing. I mean, I don't know anything about that, but just saying, you know what I mean? So anyway, this is what I'm going to do right now. Again, we are in a very important week right now with everything going on. Chuck Schumer has said he's going to be bringing it to the floor this week. We'll have to see about that, as we know that there are some restraints on the timeline right now. But again, this is what was said to us, so we have to anticipate this is what's going to be happening until we get further information saying it's not coming this week. But again, this is what's been told to us. They've said it's coming, so again, we have to anticipate it's actually coming. Anyway, stay tuned for the final draft of this guy right here. I will have that out hopefully very, very soon here. I just basically need to sit down, write it out, and then just get it out there. So I'll have that final draft for you here soon. If you want, leave me any of your suggestions down below. If I see those before I start writing and I like what I'm seeing, of course, I'll add those in. Otherwise, I always do like to keep it as short and simple, straight to the point as possible, because if it gets too long, then the likelihood of them actually reading it is probably less and less. But if we can make it as short as possible, maybe a paragraph or two, the higher the likelihood that they'll actually read it and possibly read the whole thing, right? So anyway, hope this helps you out. Please, again, make sure to hit that subscribe button right down below the video. If you haven't done so yet, I'm doing anything we possibly can to get out to Congress to remind them that support and additional resources are needed right now, especially for the low-income people and fixed-income beneficiaries. Subscribe down below. It's totally free to do so. Share this video with your friends, family, and social media. Feel free to reach out to people in Congress, your representatives, your senators, anybody who represents us right now would be beneficial. Realistically, anybody who is a Democrat in Congress right now are probably the people you want to reach out to. Why? Because they are the ones doing the reconciliation bill. It's all about Democrats right now. So again, I don't take sides in my videos. I'm just simply telling you, they're the ones behind the reconciliation bill. So it's a partisan bill. That's the whole deal with reconciliation. That's why we want to reach out to the Democrats, because they are the ones doing this whole bill right now. So we want to reach out to them specifically. Subscribe down below, share the video, and go back and check out some of the other videos right here on the channel. I hope this helps you out. Thanks again for your support. I really do appreciate it. I look forward to reading your questions and comments down below, and I'll catch you again later in the next one. Thanks again. Stay safe out there. Going out, once again, $2,000 stimulus check focused on low income, including Social Security, retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, SSI, VA, and RRB. All right, so if you happen to see my video from about a week and a half ago, I introduced this document right here, which happens to be the latest letter that I have drafted and that I sent over to Congress in the form of an email to a variety of very influential people throughout Congress. Well, as a result of new information that has come out since this last document, since this letter was sent out last, about a week and a half ago, it is time to revise this and send it out once again. Now, here's the thing. I sent this out, like I said, about a week and a half ago or so. However, since we've gotten this letter to go out, we've actually received a lot of very new information that once again builds even a stronger case for us to continue to call on Congress for additional stimulus checks, especially focused on low income. Let me quickly talk you through what this letter says in case you didn't see that video. And even if you did see that,